Long, long time ago, when the postal system was modernized, the chronically overworked Postmaster General overlooked two tiny post offices. One tucked away in the rolling hills of Somersetshire, the other somewhere in London. After unsuccessfully awaiting modernization, these two offices continued with their quiet lives until one day their daily routine was violently disrupted by the letters of Lady Susan, the most accomplished coquette in England. To avoid another scandal on social media, Lady Susan had now taken to letter writing, and her letters were eagerly expected by the two post offices through which all of these letters coincidentally passed. What with the secrecy of the letter no longer being what it used to be, Lady Susan's letters soon ceased to be private after all.
So, are they coming or what?
Marion just texted me to say that they're going to be a bit late.
Why are you texting Marianne? Dig in the mud, that one.
Do not say that. She's very nice and my friend.
Your friend? Oh, I see. See, I got no more time for your old cousin now, do you?
That's not what I...
Catherine, that's not what she said. Why can't Isabella have a friend beside you?
Stay out of this, Julia Marie. You're even more of a bore than Marianne.
That's enough, Catherine. What's wrong with you? Julia Marie, I'm sorry. Julia Marie, are you still there? Now go and apologize to her.
You have changed, Isabella Morland. You're not the same one you were a few weeks ago. It's them letters. We should throw them all away.
I have no idea what you've just been talking about, but I wholeheartedly agree about the letters. We should never have read them. It's not right. I say we should never have touched them in the first place. People should not read other people's letters.
Oh, here we go again. Sandra, if you're only here to reprimand us, please go away.
Helen, that's not very nice.
It wasn't even I who said that in the first place. Catherine said to throw the letters away when I joined.
Is that true, Catherine? I thought you liked our meetings. Haven't we all become good friends like that?
That's exactly the problem.
Leave it, Kath.
Yeah, friends, for sure. We are all the best of friends over here.
Girls, what's the matter with all of you? Stop this silliness.
Oh, wow, what gives you the right to call them silly?
Here we go again.
What? I wasn't calling them silly. You know what? Why don't we just get on with the letters for today and then all go back to our duties?
Or we could go back to our duties without having read the letters.
Stuff and nonsense. Girls, now say sorry to one another and get on with it. Helen, you go first.
Well, why me? I haven't insulted anyone. Well, except Sandra. Sorry, Sandra, and a general sorry to you all, and the Postmaster General, and the entire cosmos.
I also don't know why I should apologize, but anyway, sorry all.
I'm sorry too.
Yeah, whatever. Sorry.
There we go. Looks like Frederica has started a veritable insurrection. Now, girls, what have you got for us?
I got one.
And I've got one too.
I go first. All right, so...
Well, girls, to make sure we all behave properly, let's not interrupt Catherine while she's reading, shall we?
Can I start now? Well, okay. This is insufferable. My dearest friend, I was never so enraged before, and must relieve myself by writing to you, who I know will enter into all my feelings. Who should come on Tuesday but Sir James Martin? Guess my astonishment and vexation, for as you well know, I never wished him to be seen at Churchill. What a pity that he should not have known his intentions. Not content with coming, he actually invited himself to remain here a few days. I could have poisoned him. She should have. It would have been better for everyone involved. I made the best of it, however, and told my story with great success to Mrs. Vernon, who, whatever might be her real sentiments, said nothing in opposition to mine. I made a point also of Frederica's behaving civility to Sir James, and gave her to understand that I was absolutely determined of her marrying him. She said something of her misery, but that was all. I have for some time been more particularly resolved in the match from seeing the rapid increase of her affection for Reginald, and from not feeling secure that a knowledge of such affection might not in the end awaken a return. Contemptible as a regard founded only on compassion must make them both in my eyes, I felt by no means assured that such might not be the consequence. It is true that Reginald had not in any degree grown cool towards me, but yet he has lately mentioned Frederica spontaneously and unnecessarily, and once said something in praise of her person. Oh dear me! He was all astonishment at the appearance of my visitor, and at first observed Sir James with an attention which I was pleased to see not unmixed with jealousy. But unluckily it was impossible for me to really torment him, as Sir James, though extremely gallant to me, very soon made the whole party understand that his heart was devoted to my daughter. I had no great difficulty in convincing de Courcy, when we were alone, that I was perfectly justified, all things considered, in desiring the match, and the whole business seemed most comfortably arranged. They could none of them help perceiving that Sir James was no Solomon. But I had positively forbidden Frederica complaining to Charles Vernon or his wife, and they had therefore no pretence for interference, though my impertinent sister, I believe, wanted only opportunity for doing so. Everything, however, was going on calmly and quietly, and though I counted the hours of Sir James' stay, my mind was entirely satisfied with the posture of affairs. Guess, then, what I must feel at the sudden disturbance of all my schemes, and that too from a quarter where I had least reason to expect it. Reginald came this morning into my dressing room with a very unusual solemnity of countenance, and after some preface informed me in so many words that he wished to reason with me on the impropriety and unkindness of allowing Sir James Martin to address my daughter contrary to her inclinations. I was all amazement when I found that he was not beloved out of his design. I calmly begged an explanation, and desired to know by what was he impelled, and by whom commissioned, to reprimand me. He then told me, mixing in his speech a few insolent compliments and ill-timed expressions of tenderness, to which I listened with perfect indifference, that my daughter had acquainted him with some circumstances concerning herself, Sir James, and me, which had given him great uneasiness. In short, I found that she had in the first place actually written to him to request his interference, and that, on receiving her letter, he had conversed with her on the subject of it in order to understand the particulars, to assure himself of her real wishes. I have not a doubt that the girl took this opportunity of making downright love to him. I am convinced of it by the manner in which she spoke of her. Much good may such love do him. I shall ever despise the man who can be gratified by the passion which he never wished to inspire, nor solicited the avowal of it. I shall always detest them both. He can have no true regard for me, or he would not have listened to her. And she, with her little rebellious heart and delicate feelings, to throw herself into the protection of a young man with whom she has scarcely ever exchanged 2 words before. I am equally confounded at her impudence and his credulity. How dared he believe what she told him in my disfavor? Ought he not have felt assured that I must have unanswerable motives for all that I had done? Where was his reliance on my sense and goodness then? Where the resentment which true love would have dictated against a person defaming me? That person, too, a chit, a child, without talent or education, whom he had not always taught to despise? I was calm for some time, but the greatest degree of forbearance may be overcome, and I hope I was afterwards sufficiently keen. He long endeavored, to soften my resentment, but that woman is a fool indeed who, while insulted by accusation, can be worked on by compliments. At length he left me, as deeply provoked as myself, and he showed his anger more. I was quite cool, but he gave way to the most violent indignation. I may therefore expect it will be the sooner subside, and perhaps his may be vanished for ever, while mine will be found still fresh and implacable. He is now shut up in his apartment, whither I heard him go on leaving mine. How unpleasant, one would think, must be his reflection. But some people's feelings are incomprehensible. I have not yet tranquilized myself enough to see Frederica. She shall not soon forget the occurrence of this day. She shall find that she has poured forth her tender tale of love in vain, and exposed herself to ever the contempt of the whole world and the severest resentments of her injured mother. Yours affectionately, Susan Vernon.
Congratulations, Churchill. You seem to have gained another moron in your village.
He does sound rather unpleasant, that Sir James.
Sir James Posh.
I see why Lady Susan really doesn't want to marry him.
Yeah, but making him marry her daughter isn't much better.
True.
Does anyone want to hear my letter too?
Oh, yes, please, my dear, go on.
Churchill, let me congratulate you, my dearest mother. The affair which has given us such much anxiety is drawing to a happy conclusion. Our prospect is most delightful, and since matters have now taken so favourable a turn, I'm quite sorry that I've ever imparted my apprehensions to you. For the pleasure of learning that the danger is over is perhaps dearly purchased by all that you have previously suffered. I am much agitated by the light that I scarcely hold a pen, but am determined to send you a few short lines by James, that you may have some explanation for what must so greatly astonish you, as that Reginald should be returning to Parklands. I was sitting about half an hour ago with Sir James in the breakfast parlour, when my brother called me out of the room. I instantly saw that something was the matter. His complexion was raised, and he spoke with great emotion. You know his eager manner, my dear mother, when his mind is interested. Catherine, he said, I'm going home today. I'm sorry to leave you, but I must go. It is a great while since I've seen my father and mother. I'm going to send James forward with my hunters immediately. I shall not be at home myself till Wednesday or Thursday, as I shall go through London, where I have business. But before I leave you, he continued, speaking in a lower tone, and with still greater energy, I must warn you for one thing. Do not let Frederica Vernon be made unhappy by that Martin. He wants to marry her. Her mother promotes that match, but she cannot endure the idea of it. Be assured that I speak from the fullest conviction of the truth of what I say. I know that Frederica is made wretched by Sir James continuing here. She's a sweet girl and deserves a better fate. Send him away immediately. He's only a fool. But what her mother can mean, heaven only knows. Goodbye, he added, and shaking my hand with earnestness. I do not know when you will see me again, but remember what I tell you, Frederica. You must make it your business to see justice done her. She is an amiable girl and has a very superior mind to what we have given her credit for. He then left me and ran upstairs. I would not try to stop him, for I know what his feelings must be, the nature of mine, as I listened to him. I need not attempt to describe. For a minute or two I remained in the same spot, overpowered by wonder of the most agreeable sort indeed, yet it required some consideration to be crankily happy. In about 10 minutes after my return to the parlour, Lady Susan entered the room. I concluded, of course, that she and Reginald had been quarrelling, and looked with anxious curiosity for my confederation of my belief in her face. Mistress of the seat, however, she appeared perfectly unconcerned, and after chatting on indifferent subjects for a short time, she said to me, I find from Wilson that we are going to lose Mr. de Courcy. Is that true? That he leaves Churchill this morning? I replied that it was. He told us nothing of all that last night, said she, laughing, or even this morning at breakfast, but perhaps he did not know it himself. Young men are often hasty in their resolutions, and not more sudden in forming than unsteady in keeping them. I should not be surprised if he were to change his mind at last and not go. She soon afterwards left the room. I trust, however, my dear mother, that we have no reason to fear an alteration of his present plan. Things are gone too far. They must have quarrelled, and about Frederica too. Her calmness astonishes me. What delight will be yours in seeing him again, in seeing him still worthy your esteem, still capable of forming your happiness. When I next write, I shall be able to tell you that Sir James is gone, Lady Susan vanquished, and Frederica at peace. We have much to do, but it shall be done. I am all impatient to hear how this astonishing change was effected. I finish as I began, with the warmest congratulations. Yours than ever, Catherine Vernon.
Oh, goody goody. Things are moving along. This sounds exciting. Let's hope this Sir James character doesn't stay too long.
He really doesn't sound nice at all.
Yeah, whatever. I'm off. If you can't be bothered to join me for a sandwich, dear cousin, I'll be in the kitchen.
What was that about?
See, I told you.
Never mind, Mrs. Khan, it's going to be fine. My cousin sometimes has a bit of an uneasy temper.
Tell me about that.
I'd better go. Tell Marion I said hi, please. Bye all.
Ta-ta, everyone. See you soon.